So what I'm going to do is introduce everybody now, and then we'll just, as they come up, they'll come up in order that they're in the program. First is Pete Grass, who's president of Asphalt Institute. Jerry Voigt is with the American Concrete Association. Pam Barton is representing the Asphalt Emulsion Manufacturers Association. Pat Faster is representing ERA. Rusty Price is representing the International Slurry Surfacing, and Ken Hansen represents he's the Director of Engineering for the National Asphalt Paving Association. I'm sorry to say that John Roberts is not here because he has a medical issue, and we wish him well with that. This program is called Workforce Development in Today's Marketplace. And in keeping with the message of the whole program of continuing to drive change, what we're going to talk about is what each of these associations, number one, do, and what in development of employees and moving the market forward, and as well as they'll talk a little bit about what their associations are. I want to start by just talking about FP2 for some of you that might not be totally aware what it is. We are an industry association. All of these companies or associations are supporters of FP2, and we're involved in promoting and protecting preservation treatments. These are our contributors and supporters, and as you can see, the sponsoring associations on the right-hand side, as well as the companies that support our activities. We really have three missions. Advocacy, which some of you heard Jim Maltrip talk about yesterday. Research, and that's part of, as I see it, some of the things that we're doing in advancing the workforce is some of the research things that we do, particularly at NCAT and Minroads projects that are going on with the various treatments. And the last is communications, and we publish the Pavement Preservation Journal. We do have a booth up there, and if you do not get the journal, certainly sign up for it. Tom Keenan is here. He's our editor-in-chief, and he's been taking pictures and so forth. What I'd like to do just to start it is to say that we as an industry, in my opinion, have a qualified workforce. We have some challenges, and I think that we're going to talk about that today here. In both currently and as we expand in the future. I mean, we all talk about more money and the bigger budgets, and do we have the workforce in place to do that? What I'd say, there's really three parts to that. One is recruitment, and in some market areas, I can tell you in the Northeast where I'm based, we have some recruitment problems because we're not full-time year-round employees because of the seasonality of the business. Development is a very important portion of that, and I think all of the associations are addressing that and working on it, and that's the purpose of the presentation. And lastly is how do we maintain them? So those are really the three challenges as I see it in moving forward, and how do we continue to drive change. And with that, we'll start with Pete Grass from the Asphalt Institute.
I'll let you go. Pete Grass, Asphalt Institute. This is home sometimes for us and otherwise on the road. A little bit about our membership, refiners to terminal operators, pushing product, liquid asphalt down to end users and some end users in the marketplace. This logo board represents our membership today, 131 members across the world, moving 95% of the liquid produced in North America and a growing percentage in overseas markets. So that is 20 seconds about the Asphalt Institute. As Rod said in his introduction very well, workforce development is very important to our industry because it's seasonal, because we're full-time professionals that might, through our gray hair, show the distance from the last time we had formal training. All of that underscores the need to partner with agencies, each other, your trade association, or other commercial provider to get some type of education on a continual basis to plow that knowledge back into our field. Here's an example of our partnership with Federal Highways over the last several years through our cooperative agreement. To put some of that to use, you can see the numbers up there through some of those workshops. We also produce a number of webinars. They start in a live fashion like webinars tend to do, but we record them and put them on our website. They're available under on our website. Have more on that later. And these are some of the recorded ones out there. Draw your attention to the 5-part emulsified asphalt series, which is a perennial, great place to go to learn more about emulsions and their application in pavement preservation and recycling. Perfect for this audience. If you haven't taken a look at those, you really ought to. Recorded webinars are great. They're available in bite-sized chunks. You can pick it up again later, next lunch period, or whatever you want to do, and they're very affordable. Each year we put together a list of educational offerings. I'm holding up, and you see on the screen the latest brochure that's available for this fall and into next year. This is going to be mailed also as an insert to our next Asphalt magazine, which is shipping late this week, early next week to addressees all over. 18,000 and some on of you will get that. So take a look at that as well, and that's also available on our website, course offerings. The Institute also conducts a number of research and testing programs. Many of these have an educational component, so binder technician, lab technician, mix technician, and then the engineering component levels above those for civil engineers and so on, and chemists in some cases have a home there where they can find some continuing education opportunities. Not all of those are done in Lexington, by the way. Some of those are done, really all over, so just need to check and see. And then accreditation is also important to us. So we've partnered with NETTCP many years ago to build and promote a National Binder Technician Certification Program, now in its 7th or 8th year, something like that. It's a very small population across the country here in the United States. We estimate it somewhere around 250 individuals that could be affected by that, and hope that they avail themselves of that opportunity. Also publish a number of products that can be desktop guides, pickup truck top dashboard guides and references that help us in our industry. These are available on our website as well. Certainly, we spend a lot of time and effort with a pavement preservation focus. You see 2 of our manuals here. One we built in conjunction with AEMA several years ago, MS-19, Basic Asphalt Emulsion Manual, and these are your go-to references in the pavement preservation field. And just lastly, I want to talk about a new 501c3 that we started in 2014, the Asphalt Institute Foundation, with a slightly different mission that complements that of the Asphalt Institute and really focuses on strategic research and educational activities that look out further than our present offerings do. So first is a little bit about research. We are hosting a strategic asphalt research symposium in Colorado Springs. You see the date there, May next year, to really get at where does our needs of our industry need to go 10, 15 years from now. Some of that may be on the educational front. So this is where you can learn more about that. It's going to be an invitation-only type of program for various reasons. See me around the next couple of days if you want to talk about that and learn more information. But one of the things that we did start this last summer with our foundation was an intern program that is seeking to connect students in our colleges and universities with real workplace experiences as a gateway to perhaps introducing new young professionals into our workforce through our companies. Maybe our industry is not as appealing as it might be otherwise, and we're hoping that through folks like you see here on the screen that we can introduce some new faces into our industry through this. Happy to talk about that some more later as well. That's it for me, and we'll see if we can get this to work again for our next speaker.
I don't have one, so.
Perfect. We'll just bring this down here and get this ready for the next one. All yours, Jerry.
Good morning. My name's Jerry Voigt. I'm with the American Concrete Pavement Association. I'm glad to be here this morning. I didn't prepare any slides. I wanted to keep this brief. ACPA is a contractor-led industry association. Our members include concrete pavement and preservation contractors, material and equipment suppliers and manufacturers, consultants, and even interested individuals can join our organization. We represent over 400 member companies. We support concrete pavement technology and related treatments, including those related to preservation. We do that through advocacy, through product development. And on the product development side, that is something that we partner with our National Concrete Pavement Technology Center at Iowa State University to accomplish, as well as the International Grooving and Grinding Association. Again, John Roberts, who you probably may see in these circles a little bit more than myself, but we have that partnership, and John spearheads that for us. Part of our mission also is promotion and technical support for our member companies, as well as in partnership with our agency folks at the federal and state level. We have a strong tie between the Concrete Pavement Association and preservation through what we call our Pavement Preservation Partnership. That's a partnership I mentioned with the International Grooving and Grinding Association. We have an actual agreement that ties our organizations together for that purpose. And we've recognized very early on that you need to do repair to concrete pavements at the appropriate time and in the appropriate way in order to continue to get the best value out of those assets on the ground. And so that's the endeavor of the partnership that we hold. We have a solid base of contractors that are performing preservation work, but we've got a few things that we're doing new, taking a different, priority to how we're handling some things related to workforce development, actually. We just started developing a whole new series of training, and we are doing this as a team with our National Concrete Pavement Technology Center, and we are doing that supported by the Federal Highway Administration. We're going to develop online modules which will be available from the National Highway Institute online training center. Those will be on full depth repairs, partial depth repairs, diamond grinding, cross stitching, which is a method of stitching longitudinal cracks, and then also dowel bar retrofit, which is an installation of dowels into undoweled joints on concrete pavements. And what we're doing a little bit differently, I think, than we've done before is really truly focusing on the how-to. And not the how-to to educate the engineering community as much as it is the how-to to educate the workforce that's actually performing the work. And so it's something we started with some other aspects of concrete pavement construction, and we learned quickly that there is quite a bit of difference between the focus that you need to train contractors, crew members, as it is to really focus on what an engineer needs to know about how something works and how to do it right. There's a shared aspect to that, but really when it gets down to the simplicity of the explanation that you need to focus in on the exact steps in the how-to, you've got to take a different approach, and we're doing that with this course these courses coming up. We're also continuing our traditional preservation training, which we do on a cycle an annual cycle. So we deliver this every year, either in person or through webinars. All preservation techniques are included in this type of training, including bonded concrete overlays and the various restoration and preservation techniques I mentioned earlier. These are available through our network, either through the IGJ, through ACPA nationally, or through our chapters at the local level. and state association affiliates. So it's available to you. If there's interest in that, let me know, and we can make sure that we link you up to what's coming up. And one other thing that we've added with the OSHA silica ruling that's come forward, we've decided that we needed to put forth some effort towards training our contractors on how to protect the workers, consider the considerations of that ruling and the implications on the construction, at the whether it's preservation or whether it's paving, that we need to have well-trained contractors with that rule. So we have a tech sheet and we have a training program that we are working on and plan to roll out here coming soon here in the first part of next year. And then it's interesting, it was interesting to hear Peter say about the internship program, because we're also starting to build a STEM internship program ourselves through our foundation, and we want to give students an opportunity to get to know our industry as well and expose them to paving preservation, with the same intent of trying to link and bring new folks into the industry with a different viewpoint perhaps than what they have just exposed generally. It's not a very exciting industry necessarily to young folks, and we hope our program will develop some passionate people that will get involved. So I'm going to leave my remarks there. I appreciate the opportunity. Look forward to the questions.
So happy to be here in Nashville with all of you. It's my first visit to the city, and it's been really interesting and fun for sure. To the task at hand, I am here with you, stepping in for Archie Reynolds, president of the AEMA. Our connection with the AEMA, besides his current presidential term, is and has been as a proud member company. I'm an HR professional, and so this topic is right up my alley, but I do want to assure you that I'm one of you as well. My approach to supporting the business is as a partner with our management. At Walker Emulsions, I spend a lot of time in the business, traveling between our plants and in the operations side of things, learning about the industry and the distinct challenges that we face. Also pairing this with involvement in community associations in the areas that we serve. This is the only way I can truly embark on our workforce planning and have it make sense. Staff development that serves our future, and certainly the recruiting side of things that responds to actual needs. Should you work with corporate service staff like myself, get them understanding the business, expose them so that they can meaningfully help and anticipate with you. Companies that are smaller will obviously have to outsource their recruitment or planning needs, and good consultants will spend time and will get to know you and your business. So align yourself with those types of providers. The Asphalt Emulsion Manufacturers Association, as you may know, represents the asphalt emulsion industry with members all over the world. This is quite a membership, and approaches vary, obviously. But the association itself is all about learning, sharing of information, and really provides some great resources on their website at aema.org. Industry training courses are available there, along with other educational aids, pocket guides, and publications. They help to educate the public and individuals within our industry. AEMA meetings and seminars bring state-of-the-art asphalt emulsion technology all over the world. I encourage you to visit the AEMA booth in the exhibitor hall to find out more and to congratulate Mike Krisoff, our executive director, on his pending retirement. I can assure you that our membership knows how important having people with specialized know-how and industry connections is, but our work is more than just that. We provide solutions and need to interact with a variety of different personalities and at all levels of organizations and within the political sphere as well. This means that keeping good people and developing them, taking into account their unique needs and where they need to develop and targeting it, is massively important. And bringing new recruits in who have the intelligence, but also the versatility, forward-thinking attitudes, and intrinsic ability or trainability to interpret customer needs is crucial. Having new people spend time with seasoned staff definitely allows for knowledge transfer of all kinds, because success really can't be achieved by walking in the door with a degree. We all know there's a ton of know-how that can't be taught, and it really just takes time and experience. It's about commitment, building trust, and absolutely results-based achievement is important, but not at the expense of the future. I was struck hearing comments by some of the speakers yesterday about leadership at all levels, about owning up to mistakes and doing the right thing. These are the type of people our association is interested in, but also the approach that we need to be successful and for people to learn. So the tactics side of things, our member companies have many different approaches, and I can speak to specifics for the company that I work directly with. And these approaches include college and university partnerships, supporting programs that mesh nicely with our industry, and providing internship and cooperative education opportunities, meaningful ones. We are then able to determine ability in a number of ways and groom students and bring them into the business after graduation. We all know that fit is as important as qualifications, and so having staff that are able to mix and play well with others is important. That sounds light, but it isn't in this global economy. With cross-border exchanges and cultural intelligence as key pieces to achieving our goals and maintaining relationships into the future. Our members certainly act as formal and informal mentors and coaches to students and emerging professionals. Outreach also happens in our high schools to educate young minds on the importance of the work we do, as well as to encourage them to consider careers in science and to enhance their communication skills. And it's important because it lays groundwork. 5-year plans are great and necessary, but looking ahead 10 to 20 years is, and even beyond that, really means being able to think about that growth economy, quality of life mode that people really need to shift and then adjust to more easily. Community involvement is another area that develops our people. Knowing and serving our communities is key. Being able to link shared goals and tell stories that speak to citizens are deeply important. Involvement in nonprofits, local chambers, as board of advisors on a variety of organizations is crucial. Stewardship. Yesterday we heard Carlos Braceras talk about this, and I loved his message of changing the world with the work that we do, because we do that. What better way to get deep commitment from those we work with most closely, as well as the alliances that we seek out in that work. We do need experts in our field and industry, but more importantly, we need expert partners to serve our communities. I have a new phrase coined courtesy of Jean-François Coté, and that is recover post-disturbance. I truly feel that by utilizing the approaches that the panel is speaking about today, really does help prepare us. It makes our member companies much more resilient, absolutely. Jean-François talked about how natural disasters expose deferred maintenance. If we don't pay attention, if we don't provide education, develop our people, and adapt, as well as be proactive to the inevitable change, we will not ensure high resiliency. It's the only way to be sustainable as organizations and as an industry. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Patrick Faster, and I'm an alcoholic. I'm so sorry that's tonight's meeting. I'm a little confused. I want to get your attention. Thank you all for being here. I am Patrick Faster, and I have been known to have a drink in a day. Catholic Irish boy from Chicago. Thank you all for being here. I am representing ARA, and if I had the ability to put the 3 slides that I brought up, I would. I am the past president of the Asphalt Recycling and Reclaiming Association, and that's what that ARA stands for, so there you broke the code. We are the informational experts on in-place recycling, and the purpose of our organization, among other things, is to carry the message, to preach from the mountaintop about the 5 disciplines that are recognized by Federal Highway in in-place recycling. And very quickly, that would be milling, which has been around for a long time, and we take a portion of that back to the plant and recycle it, different percentages in different states. Hot in place recycling, cold in place recycling, full depth reclamation, and typically with full depth reclamation, you are incorporating soil stabilization. These are 5 disciplines that are recognized by Federal Highway. I think it's great that we will probably get into this a little bit tomorrow, more in depth. Everything that you have learned thus far in yesterday's seminars and this morning's about pavement preservation is all fabulous. It's good stuff. Gail House has done a great job again in his second assembly of this pavement preservation group. I say we are the informational and driving force, and we put our money where our mouth is. We are the authors, we are the publishers of what we fondly call the BARM, which is the Basic Asphalt Recycling Manual. These are available to anyone. All 3 of our organizations, which I'll show you in my third and final slide, ARA, EMA, and NISA, you can get these books through them, certainly at ara.org. And this will give you everything from informational technologies as to the difference between a hot in place project or a cold in place or a full depth. It'll give you specifications. It's the who's who. We wrote the book on recycling. This is available to you. We did it in partnership with Federal Highway. It's a great publication. It's a great opportunity to educate yourself. The good thing that I think you'll see tomorrow, as I said, is you have these sessions on in-place recycling disciplines, is that we've come together, the 3 groups, EMA, ERA, and ISSA, to form PPROA, which is a Pavement Preservation and Recycling Alliance. So as I started to say, everything you learned yesterday and maybe this morning about pavement preservation, and the other side or the other shoe or the butter for the popcorn is going to be the recycling. So now you're going to learn how, in some cases, where and when you can use in-place recycling and couple that with pavement preservation techniques. And now you got the whole banana split. I mean, it's just a fabulous thing. The largest single asset that you agency people have are your roadways. So you have good aggregate that has oil on it and it's in place. That's 3/4 of the battle. So now let's in place recycle and then take your slurries and your micros and your chips and everything that you learned yesterday and put these 2 together, and then you're going to have something. Rod made a statement in his opening remarks. He said you're going to drive change. And drive change is what it's about. And I don't want to use the term mill and fill, but there have been, because that's still a great process and there's still many roads that need that. But that was a conventional process along with some other conventional processes for a good number of years. That's back in the which road are we going to do this year? And you had the snowplow drivers come in and tell you which roads needed to be done. Things have changed. Techniques have changed. You all now have become pavement managers. So we're driving change. So you need to look at the other technologies that's out here, and I applaud everyone who is here because you're trying to take advantage of the new technologies to see what's happening, to see what's going on. So you've got your pavement preservation, you've got your recycling, and you can put them together. So we've got a booth upstairs, ara.org. I'll be around for a couple of days. There's some people up in our booth. There's a lot of contractors and or supplier members of ARA that would be happy to help you. So if you have any questions, just reach out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to find the number of people that are willing to respond and help and educate and so on and so forth. So thanks for the time.
Good morning. I didn't bring any slides, thank God, after that last fiasco.
You can use mine.
Now,
I hate to take them down. It took a half hour to get them up.
I always like it when Pat's on the panel because he's got a good sense of humor and gets everybody relaxed. And I represent the International Slurry Surfacing Association. Slurry surfacing meaning slurry seal and microsurfacing and chip sealing and crack sealing. This organization was, association was founded in 1964. It's been around for 54 years. Comprises about 40 contractors, 35 suppliers, agencies, and academia. And some of the initiatives we're working on, I'll talk about that in my closing remarks. You know, workforce development, I've thought about it for the last couple of months. You know, what is workforce development? It's changing. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, well, suburb of Salt Lake City, and tell you about my journey here. ISSA had a board meeting here on Monday. So 3 o'clock in the morning on Monday, I wake up and drive to the airport, catch a plane, fly to Dallas, land, catch another plane to Nashville. First time I've been here. It's a beautiful place. I enjoy it. Get in a taxi, come here, and I did that in 5 hours. So I'm thinking and talking to some of the folks here this week, what a great quality of life we have. I mean, it's second to none. The water that we drink, the power we get, the homes we live in, and the transportation that we have, I think we take it for granted. Have you ever been in a situation where you couldn't drive? Road was shut down, snow, whatever. It changes your whole quality of life. And I think we have a great transportation system. And I think what we do here, some folks might not think it's very important, but to preserve that infrastructure is extremely important. One of my greatest memories and mentors was my grandfather. He lived through the Great Depression. His first job was transporting kids to school. And it wasn't in a school bus, and it wasn't in a vehicle. It was in a team of horses in a sleigh, because there weren't paved roads and there weren't snow plows. And he did that because that's what his job was. And you know, in 75 to 85 years, we've come a long way. And he taught me how to work. He was very patient. He didn't just say, here, go do this. He would take me, he would show me what needed to be done, how to do it. He would spend time with me to make sure that I did it the right way. My dad wasn't that patient. When I didn't do it the right way, well, it wouldn't be proper HR-wise with what he did to me. But that's how my workforce development happened in my lifetime. And I think most of the infrastructure in the West, it's growing a lot. There's a lot of growth. There's new construction. But for the most part, what we have is it's already built. We need to make sure we take good care of it and make it last as long as we can. And we all know how important that is, or we should. I mean, I've thought about, I have a 2009 Chevrolet pickup truck, and it's got 160,000 miles on it, but to me it's just like new. I've taken good care of it. And I don't want to spend $45,000 and buy a new pickup truck, because I don't need to. And I think that we should be proud to be in the construction business. And you know, America was built by hard work, commitment, and a lot of good people. There are challenges, without a doubt, and with challenges come opportunity. And I believe, being in this business for going on 33 years, I've worked with thousands of people. But I think one of the biggest challenges, it's happening right now. In the next decade, it's gonna become more challenging, is finding people that want to be in this business. There's a work shortage for folks that want to be in the construction business. It is right now, and I think it'll continue to be a challenge. In our company, we have 3 generations working in the company: baby boomers, Generation X, and Generation Y, and it's quite a dynamic. Within 10 years, the baby boomers are going to be retiring from the workforce, and a lot of experience, a lot of know-how is going to go with them. And the next two generations are, they're going to have to carry this on, and it's going to be important, really important to develop the next generations in preserving our quality of life. So with that, the challenges I see in workforce development is how are we going to attract people to be into this business as a career, not as a place to gather a paycheck until I find something better. And I'm not talking about folks that are managers, engineers. I'm talking about folks that work out on the grade and want to work hard and take pride in what they do. Because I think pride is really important in what we do. We should instill a quality of passion for what we do and strive to build quality in everything that we do. And I think that's a challenge right now. It's a competitive environment. It costs more to do quality. I'll be the first one to tell you that. It costs more to do quality. But some of the conversations I've had with owners and customers, we're not real satisfied with the way the product's working now. It's not lasting as long. It's having problems here and there. But I think you got to look at life cycle costs. You might get a really good price on a product that doesn't last very long, or you can get a price on a product that's going to last a long time and be quality work. One of the things I've said here for the last, since the economy went south in 2008, it's been a tough grind, and I've said that it's not as fun as it used to be. And I think that I don't have the answer to this, but it's more difficult to do business nowadays, environmental issues, and I'm not saying that's bad, but we need to make this business fun, because if folks like what they do, they like to come to work. They like the business. If it's not fun, the opposite's going to happen. And the last thing is the training and education. I know that's important. Our company had an employee development initiative for several years. It was a very good time of effort and money spent, and it helped employees. It helped train them. It helped educate them, a career path. And I know that agencies are looking for training and education. Some of the same agencies I talk to, what can we do to help to get the product up to these standards that you expect? And the answer I received was, well, I'm not quite sure how to answer that, because I don't know that we have that expertise. You're the expert. You do this every day. And we need to work together, as Carlos said yesterday, to build that trust. Because if that trust isn't there, we're not going to be able to work together. The partnership isn't going to be there. And the Slurry system, this International Slurry Association, we have a marquee training event every year. It's in January. It's called the Slurry Systems Workshop. It lasts for 3 days, and it's a very good training event. We're working with a national center right now on contractor and agency certification. Some of the experts in our association help teach and train. And that's going to become more and more of a focal point. I think that's a good initiative. We have web-based training that's offered on the National Center's website that was sponsored by the Federal Highway Administration. It's free. It's slurry seal, microsurfacing, chip seal, crack seal, and spreader box principles. It's very good training. I encourage you to log on to the website for NCPP and go through that training. It'll be worth your while. Some of the other initiatives that we are working on is we're working at the AMRL about getting our laboratory certified and accredited for slurry systems mixed designs. ISSA is working at trying to hire a full-time technical director. These associations are they're all based off of volunteer effort, and there's a lot of things going on that we need full-time emphasis on that. And we're working on marketing with PPRA, a one-stop shop for agencies to be able to go to find what they need and not have to Google through 15 different things. And I think that's a great initiative. It's going to take some time, but it's going to be worthwhile. And with that, I just want to leave you with take pride in what you do and be proud of what you do, and let's take good care of what we've built. Thank you.
Here we go. NAPA is, again, National Asphalt Pavement Association, and we represent asphalt mix producers around the country. Our members represent about 80% of the tonnage of mix in the United States. We also represent laydown contractors, equipment suppliers, and material suppliers at the national level. Well, workforce development has been a big part of NAPA. I joined NAPA 21 years ago. Training was one of the things I had to do right away. Back in '94, we recognized the NAPA, before I joined there, recognized that we really didn't have a lot of universities that offered courses in asphalt technology. So we developed this scholarship program. And in this scholarship program, the universities have to offer 2 classes in asphalt technology. The professor has to go to a training course that we paid for everything at NCAT there. And since we implemented that, I think it's, left my notes back there, which is not very bright. I know we've about 200, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get my notes. Thank you.
You're doing fine, go ahead.
Oh man, I get no respect in the Rodney Dangerfield, I think. We've had over 1,400 scholarships given through NAPA Research and Education Foundation. That's about $2 million worth of scholarships there. We also have a lot of state associations to give scholarships too. And there's another at least 1,000 scholarships over that time at $2.7 million. So this is a way that we're reaching out to the people that are designing and specifying the product that we put down. We also have realized that, like everybody else here, webinars, people can't travel. This is probably one of the few meetings in the year that a lot of states show up. More people show up for this than they do any of the AASHTO meetings. It's crazy. But people are not able to get out. So we have these webinars. We usually do about 2 a month. They're free to our members, to agencies, and to academia. So you log on them, like everybody else, we record them, so you can go back in if you missed them. You can do it. We deal with everything on safety, environmental. In fact, we have a sustainability series going on. Obviously construction, production. We even have legislative webinars too, so if you're really interested in that. One of the things we used to do at NAPA was we used to do these small training courses around the country on a superintendents. We had a management training, we had a plant, and we had a mix design we did down at NCAT. Well, we can only reach about 300 people a year doing that. So quite a while ago, it seems like, World of Asphalt came into being. World of Asphalt is going to be coming up in 2018, but the last year, 2016, right here in this city, we had 9,000 attendees at World of Asphalt. Now, this is World of Asphalt and Ag 1, which is the NSSGA meeting too. So very good. 13,000 tickets sold to the education programs. There was 115 sessions. In the asphalt side, there was over 70 sessions. And It's just amazing how this has grown over the time. And we call our session in the asphalt people, plants, and paving, but I think I'm going to have another P on there because we do have a preservation track also at the World of Asphalt. When Con Expos goes on, we don't do World of Asphalt, although we partner with Con Expo. There's asphalt sessions going on there too. So if you want to go to Vegas, it's sort of a fun show, and wear some comfortable shoes because the show is huge. We also have what we call our Diamond Commendation Program. This program is a self-assessment, and we have two programs that sort of hit on the training: the Diamond Quality, which is a plant qualification or commendation, and paving. Both of those commendations, to achieve them, you have to have a certain amount of training of your people every year. This last year, we've always partnered with the National Center for Asphalt Technology on a lot of issues. This last year, we've been in developing some training programs primarily aimed at our customers, at agencies and consultants, and that, knowing, as we've heard talk about, we're losing a lot of expertise, and DOTs are also farming out a lot of material to the consultants too. So we're developing some courses there. The courses there include, one's going to be on life cycle cost analysis, and that can be up to a half day. These are modular courses. Long life pavements, perpetual pavements. We're going to have thin lays, wrap, brass, and perpetual pavement. I already said perpetual pavement design. Those last three or four of them are being developed under our cooperative agreement with Federal Highways, and so those should be available soon. And they're really designed, they can be delivered online. They'll probably be they're designed to be customized for the state, because what mix in your state isn't the same as the mix in the next guy's state. So we have to be able to customize that. We've also been partnering with ASC every year, or we go with them on Earth Day and we bring our porous pavement display out. And it really attracts people. They see water flow through a pavement, they go, what the heck's going on? But it's really good in getting young people interested in engineering, because we have a lot of other things going on with that. We've also partnered with ASC. We developed a course for them, a seminar that they're going to be doing on pavement design. So, doing that. As like everybody else, we have a lot of publications out there, varying, from almost any subject matter you want there. And one of the things I think we're going to revisit is we developed what we call toolbox talks. These were little flip charts, 11 by 17 flip charts somebody could take out in the field, train, like you do safety talks, reinforce those things they hear in a class, because if you don't hit them enough on things, they forget it and they forget to do it. It hasn't really taken off as well as we had hoped it would, but I tell you, here's the future of training. It's going to be here. That big publication is going to be in here, and they can look up whatever they want, and it's going to be videos. That's the new generation. You got the stuff right at your fingertip, the answer's there, easily searchable. I think that's what we're going to look at. I know all of our publications are available online, free to NAPA members, free to academia, free to agencies. So with that, I'm done.
Were you just jamming my conversation?